My husband was off work for the day, and I asked him to stop and see the boy. He came home and began crying, ready to break his heart. He said the poor boy was fell away to nothing and had sores all around the lower part of his body. The dry skin was hanging off his back and he had like boils round him. We then made up our minds to take him out and were coming on the Saturday, but it rained and my daughter had not been long confined, so we didn't come. We came in on the Monday to see him, but couldn't take him out then as we had no room in the cart. We took him home in the workhouse van on the Wednesday. His mouth was dry and turned up hard, and his body had got very thin. All round the lower part was in these large wounds, more especially one on the hip. Looked like places anyone had had boils. His other parts were all but dropping from him. He'd been there in the workhouse 10 clear days. I did all I could to bring him round. He healed up in about a month, but it was 4 months before he seemed proper, as he used to be. I got Mr. Wood's carriage at Sandown to bring him in. I dressed him in the morning, everything clean, and washed his face and shoulders. We left Braden at 11. He was in every respect in as good condition as on the Saturday. Mrs. Cooper, my husband's brother's wife, and my niece, Frances Pitt, came with me to the workhouse. It was a large, closed carriage with room for 6 inside it. My son-in-law carried him to the carriage. I and my sister-in-law were inside and took hold of his shoulders and lifted him in. Edward had a good head of dark brown hair, a little moustache, and beautiful bright eyes. People always remarked how nice a face he had.
Mary Cooper's disabled son died under horrible circumstances in the workhouse, but the official inquiry into his death is not everything that it appears. A scapegoat was chosen, the workhouse medical officer in this case, and the public fury was appeased. But long after the official inquiry circus had left town, everything continued as it had before, and systemic negligence reigned under the new Poor Law. But we only know this from a complex mix of methodologies, historiography, and comparative histories. By making this film, I think it's inadvertently demonstrated what historians do. By breathing life into Mary's voice, it becomes apparent how so much more information is needed to flesh out episodes such as this and explain the social phenomena at play. Mary's statement should be, and it is, just the starting point of a much, much bigger story.